Here's a hot take, folks. Of all the films I've seen this year in 2022, this, I think, and I feel, may be my favorite film of the year. Let's talk about Top Gun: Maverick. What's up, folks, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing Top Gun: Maverick, which is coming to theaters May 24th. Finally, because this film has been delayed a bunch of times. And I gotta tell you a little story going back into San Diego Comic-Con 2019 in a very surprising panel when Tom Cruise comes out and they show footage. I actually been excited to see this film. Not because I was super fan of the original film. I did love the game, by the way. But as a kid, I would always be very keen to want to go to air shows. I just always loved aircrafts, you know? And I didn't really realize that until I watched this film and how young I felt again watching the film. Like, I just wowed at just the aircrafts alone. You know, took the critic cap off for a second and was just a kid. I was like, wow, this is amazing. And, you know, the film had been delayed. They tried to get it released during the pandemic, delayed again, and finally making its way to theaters May 24th. Now, I got a chance to check it out early here, decided to bring my sign home. Oh, wow, this was amazing. It was amazing. I literally think it's my favorite film of this year. I had so much fun with it. I was at the edge of my seat the entire time. I just was wowed on all accounts, really. But the fastest man alive is back in Maverick, and you know he's a really okay. First of all, let me give a little bit more background before I get into this. I don't remember the first movie. I watched it, came out '86, before I was born. I probably touched it one other time after my first initial watch, you know, with my family and whatnot, by myself, and again, just as a person who loves film, not as a critic, so not really trying to dissect the film. So I know I liked it, but I really didn't like sat down there and tried to break it all down. So listen, I'm going to say this: I enjoyed this film as a standalone, but I can guarantee if you love the first film and if you watch the first film before going into this, the nostalgia that they hit, the connections, the callbacks, you're going to appreciate this film even much more than I did, which means I got work to do because I need to go back and watch it again, and I probably will watch this again. The only way to watch this film is in IMAX. It was beautiful, and I feel like this film hits a lot of what Cobra Kai is doing in terms of, you know, using the old footage from, you know, the Karate Kid and whatnot, in this case in Top Gun, really triggering those nostalgic moments. So even seeing those bits of moments from the original film, it just elevates everything in terms of the emotional value in those moments. Like, so like they got it right, for real. They got it all right. And like, and even if you haven't seen it, I think you really still can appreciate this film for what it's worth. Now, getting back into it, the fastest man alive is back. Pete Mitchell, aka call sign Maverick, after 30 years of service as one of the top Navy aviators. Now, let me tell you, he, again, as respected as he is as a pilot, he's also given a new task that takes him out of his comfort zone. Now, he's the fastest man alive because how many G's mostly can a pilot handle? 9. He goes 10. That automatically lets you know he's the real deal. Whether you've seen the first film or not, you see that he goes beyond the limits, and he's always wishing, he's always wanting, not wishing, he's always willing, excuse me, to push the needle beyond the limits. But like I said, this time he has a new task, an impossible mission. And in this mission, he doesn't get to be the pilot, he gets to be the teacher, which is unconventional for him because he feels he's the best. He should always be the leader, he should always be in the cockpit. So he has to teach this new class of pilots to train them for an impossible mission that is very, very pivotal for the safety of humanity. We'll just end it at that, or not. Let's get into a couple other little things here. Now, again, this film had me all smiles, laughs, and at the edge of my seat action. The aerial visuals were fantastic. fantastic. I don't know how this film was shot. I know that I heard that these folks actually did have to fly the plane and the cameras being in the cockpit and whatnot. I don't know that to be confirmed because I only heard that from somebody else, but I didn't actually look it up. I'm telling you that regardless, the visuals are fantastic. You literally feel like you are in the seat of these planes. You are literally in a, it feels like a 4G film, but it's not. I seen it in IMAX, yet I felt like I was in the sky, you know, and even with no air or nothing being brushed around in the theaters, I literally felt myself like warming up and all sorts of different emotions. I was that connected to the visual presentation of this film that I actually felt like I was in the film. And like there's moments where you will absolutely be holding your breath, and like that's also just a reaction to some of the scenes that you will see. Like you will be, it's breathtaking. That's no other way to put it. And then the drama, the stakes of everything that's happening, and I mean they do a really good job in making sure that you understand the severity, the intensity, and how impossible this mission is. You know what I mean? And it's truly to a point where you have doubt, to the point you're like, I don't think this is a good deal. I don't think there's moments of this film that you don't bring in your own personal judgment in terms of thinking or suggesting that what they're doing should not happen. But yet, in the case of, you know, wanting to see a fairy tale ending, you kind of like, well, it kind of still got to happen, but still, you know. But yes, you're going to be completely emotionally connected to this film. Now, I got to be honest, folks, because this is, it's going to be like one of my honest reviews, because I'm just keeping it what it is. I'm not a big fan of Miles Teller. I have never been really a big fan of Miles Teller. This movie changed my mind. He was fantastic as Rooster. Rooster is the son of Goose, who from the first film, as we know, was Maverick's partner, who had tragically died. He's dealing with the grieving of that. Both of them are dealing with the grieving with that. But Maverick, more or less, is assuming the father position for Rooster, to the point that he even pulled his papers from the Naval Academy. He did not want him near a plane. And that cost him years of his career, about 4 years of his career. And although he still did enter the Navy and is one of the best of his class, you know, there's resentment going on there. And obviously because of the grieving and the trauma, Maverick is sort of like, well, if I don't let you in the plane, then I can protect you. But if I don't let you in the plane, then you'll never forgive me. So a really hard position for him to be in here. And he's also one of the pilots that's a candidate for this mission. So now Maverick having to choose the best of this class in order to go about this mission. He's stuck in a hard place and like, well, do I let him go? Or, you know, same thing, same rock in a hard place and whatnot. But with that being said, I gotta say, Miles did a fantastic job really capturing some of the same moments that Goose had as his son Rooster, really bringing on the look. He was his charisma, his everything. I thought he really embodied this character. He did a fantastic job. And again, I've never really been a big fan of Miles, but this film definitely changed my mind. I'm like, okay, Miles, okay, I'll see you out here. But anyway, you know, most of this film focused on the training of this mission, yet the training felt as intense as the mission itself. That's just what it was. Like every bit of this film was just high intensity, and you just was at the edge of your seat because you just didn't know what would happen next. The stakes were so high. With all these different pilots, with all these different type of characters and personalities of them, you know, they all work really well together, but it also started to have you thinking like, okay, something's bad probably going to happen, but who will it be? And it just has you divided the entire time. Yet Maverick is trying to put a team together of folks who are not so much a team right now. I think another good comparison about this film is like, this is Fast and the Furious, except in the air. You know, if you like the Fast and Furious movies, where like, and let me be clear, if you like the Fast and Furious movies, minus trying to apply science and physics and all this other different stuff, and just appreciate for what the film is, going above and beyond the ridiculousness and whatnot, this film does follow a lot of the same, minus the ridiculousness, but also leaving the whole political and military and scientific aspect out of it. Meaning, if one who don't understand rank or who doesn't understand the engineering of planes and all this other stuff, you still can enjoy this film because they don't try to explore none of those things to a point that they need you to understand that in order to understand how the film works. So they kept a lot of the things vague. Like the mission itself was super vague. They never got too specifics about the details, about who, and all sorts of different things. So like that I loved, because it never felt so high level that somebody with basic knowledge or information would not be able to understand. That was an amazing strategy by them, and I definitely was just I was definitely very happy about that, because I thought at some point some of this was going to just be so hard to digest, it was going to take me out of the film for thinking too much. But instead, nope, they kept it fun. And overall, I assess this film as an experience, not just a movie, but an entire experience. You know, if you've ever been on one of those like 3D or 4D rides at an amusement park, it felt like that. So it was a feature-length film, but also the seats didn't move, but yet it felt that like that because you were just so connected in the film. And I just think it was such a really, really good job. And again, like the cockpit visuals were so amazing, so special. You actually felt like you were in them. Just the cinematography, the movements and all that sorts of stuff, the facial expressions and everything, it really worked well together. This film absolutely deserved, and it did get a standing ovation. I want more Top Gun right now. Like, I really do. Like, this was fantastic. I'm already looking forward to the next film. This was every bit of the wait and delay. And being able to recreate some of those moments from the original Top Gun and bringing it back, hitting the nostalgia, bringing in a new audience, giving us something to look forward to in the future. This was really, really, really good. Hans Zimmer on the score. You know I'm a fanboy over that. He was fantastic. And overall, you know, I just thought the film was just fantastic. And again, with the vague details and not coming off so informational, it really did allow this film to have a lot of wiggle room in the storytelling. Like, he did not have to get so specific about certain things that it had to be realistic. It had moments where it was definitely a disbelief of certain events, and that's fine. I think that's probably what makes the filmmaking element of this fun, because you did not have to really be so politically correct to things, and that's cool. So I don't know, man. I can't stress enough. This is a film you have got to go check out. You probably are going to want to check it out multiple times. It was that good. I had so much fun, and I really do feel with all the films I've seen thus far, with this only being in May right now, I think this may be my favorite film of the year. I really, really do. I had a lot of fun with it. But hey, check it out yourself. Oh, and I should just note too, the cast up and down, everybody had good moments. There were characters who had very minimal roles, which I think makes me think that, you know, you introduced them for possibilities in the future. But everybody, I think, left an impression on you. That's just what I mean about how charismatic this cast was, how diverse the cast was as well too, that you're going to be looking forward to more going forward. Oh, and I gotta say, Jennifer Connelly and Tom Cruise banter with one another as she's Penny and obviously he's Maverick. They banter one another. Oh my God, it's so good. Connelly, Jennifer Connelly, if I said her name incorrect. Penny and Maverick has some amazing moments together. So while this new generation of young cast is there, the older generation or OG cast, even with somebody like Val Kilmer having a little bit of a cameo in this as well too. It is announced. Everybody had their moments in it, and it really came together very, very cohesive. So check it out. Jump in the comments, folks. Let me know your thoughts about this when you do. And as always, stay tuned for more reviews very soon.